welcome back to another episode of Sundays with Sarah. Today I am super duper excited to have a chat with you guys. I am going to be talking about something today that most women go through. This is going to be a chat for mainly girls, not very boys will find this interesting. So if you're a boy, I am sorry this week is not aimed towards you, but this is a very much requested video. And I don't know why I'm acting all quiet about it and suspicious, because you've seen the title, you know what it's about. Periods! I am going to be going into some detail in this vlog about what a period actually is and, you know, all the details surrounding periods basically. If you are a family who watch this as a parent and a child, then I am aiming this to the parent. You might want to watch this video first and then decide whether it's appropriate or not for your child to watch. I'm not going to be saying anything disgusting or crude or false, but just in case with these things, you just never know what you want your child to hear and what you don't. So if you watch it with your child, maybe just watch it first and then decide whether you want your child to watch it or not. If you are under the age of 9, 10, 8 or 9, if you're under the age of 8 or 9, this video will probably be quite confusing for you and your parents might not want you to watch it. So if you're watching this and you are under the age of 8 or 9, just go and check with your parents that it's okay to watch. And I don't want to get into trouble with anyone or have any "how dare you do vlogs like this" on YouTube. It's totally inappropriate for younger ones. So if you are under that age, just double check with your parents that they're happy for you to watch it. Anyone over the age of 10, I guess you'll already have your own questions about periods. Maybe your parents have spoken to you, but the reason I'm doing this video is because we've received quite a few messages, comments saying my parents haven't explained it, I don't understand, I'm scared, I'm nervous, what happens, what's a period? And I think it's important to know what it is, because I can't even imagine how scary it must be to get your first period and not know what it is. And it's quite daunting. It's like something you're waiting for. I was waiting for my period. My mum was quite open with me about it, so I knew what it was. And despite my sister being younger than me, she actually started her period about 2 years before I did. So I was kind of waiting for my period, and it was not, I don't know, it was something I thought about quite often. When is it coming? When is it coming? And then I got to a stage where I was thinking, why is it not coming? Why? Is there something wrong with me? But I'll go into more detail about that later. Right now, I am going to give you an actual explanation on what a period actually is. So a period is often referred to as a menstrual cycle, and to understand what a menstrual cycle is and what it's about, it helps to know about the reproductive organs inside a woman's body. So all or most women are born with 2 ovaries. The ovaries are where the eggs fertilise and develop and grow and are released from. We also have a womb, which is also known as a uterus. This is where the egg implants and fertilises if you become pregnant. We also have 2 fallopian tubes. These are 2 thin tubes that connect the ovaries to your womb. We then have a cervix, which is the lower part of the womb that connects to your, there's a million words for this. Today we're just going to call it your lady area. And then finally you have your lady area, which is where your period comes out of. A menstrual cycle is controlled by hormones. In each cycle, rising levels of estrogen causes the ovaries to develop an egg. And when that egg is released, that is known as ovulation. And the womb also starts to thicken at this stage. The egg then travels down the fallopian tube, and if pregnancy doesn't occur, then that egg is absorbed naturally by your body. Hormone levels will then fall and womb lining will leave the body as a period. So basically, a period is made up of blood and your womb lining. Periods usually last around 3 to 7 days, and in each period you usually use between 3 and 5 tablespoons of blood, which, I mean, if you've started your period already, you literally think you are bleeding out sometimes. It doesn't feel like a tiny amount, it feels like a lot. Sometimes you think, especially if you're one of those people that have heavy periods. Someone's mowing their lawn. Brilliant. I'm going to have to close the window. I remember when I was about 12 years old, I'm pretty sure I was 12. My sister was 11. She had just started year 7 and she was sent home from school for being poorly. And I remember getting home and saying, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" And she was doubled over in pain on the bed with period cramps. And that's scary to think that I have a child of 11, Isabel's 11, and to see her in the pain that my sister was in would literally kill me. My sister suffered so badly with period pains and heavy periods, and she was only 11 when she started. And I think for her, having an older sister and always thinking, Sarah, it'll happen to Sarah first, Sarah's going to have it first, and then I didn't and she did, I think that must have been quite a shock for her. It was definitely a shock for me. I can remember thinking, "You've started your period? How? I haven't yet." But like I said, everyone's different. It's normal for people to start their period between the ages of 10 and 14, I think I read. 10 and 14, the average age is 12. So around 12 years old is when you should expect to starting your period. Don't worry though if you are 12 and you haven't started yet. I was almost 15 before I started my period. Almost 15, which is insane. I can remember my sister starting so early and me thinking, well, I must be starting soon. Where's mine? Where's mine? How come I've not started yet? And I can remember getting to about 14 and worrying, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm 14, I've still not started my period. And all my friends had started. Obviously, my sister started years ago by this point. And I can remember thinking, I must have something wrong with me. Like, why have I not started mine? But I guess I was just a late starter. It was the same with puberty. I was really late before I got any pubic hair. And I don't know, I can just remember at that time thinking, maybe there's something wrong with me. But there's not. So if that's you, you're 12, 13, 14, and you haven't started your periods or puberty or things like that, don't worry. If you're like 17, 18 and you haven't, then maybe go to the doctors and get checked out. But anything between 10 and 14 is normal. So if you are in that age range, you have started yet, that's fine, and you haven't started yet, that's also fine. My mum was quite open with me about periods, and I think that's rubbed off on me now with Isabel. I've never ever kept things like this a secret or made her feel like it's something she needs to be ashamed of or worried about. I've always been very, very open with periods, and even Esme now, who's 8, she knows like what a period is. She doesn't understand like all the science, would you call it, biology behind it, but she knows that women get periods. And I think it's so important to explain things like that to your child, because I just can't imagine how daunting it would be to have a period come and not know what it was. I have actually heard horror stories from friends where they've told me that they just started their period and they genuinely wanted to sneak off to hospital because all of a sudden they just started bleeding down there and they didn't know why. And yeah, I can just imagine that being super duper scary. So if you've got a daughter and she's, I don't know, you choose what age you think's appropriate. I'd say around the age of 10 is a good time to maybe open up, speak to them about what happens to a woman's body, and just explain to them that it's completely normal, completely natural. I also think it would be a good idea to give them like a period pack. I think it's a good idea because some children, no matter how open and how much you think they talk to you, might actually feel embarrassed about telling you when the time comes they've actually come on the period. Me and Isabel are extremely close. She tells me everything, and I mean literally everything. And I still wonder sometimes, I wonder if she started a period and just not told me. I wonder. So I made, but she hasn't, Isabel's not started her period yet, but I made up a little pack for her. You can just get cheap toiletry bag from like Asda or even the pound shop. put inside it some sanitary towels and things like that, and then just give it to your child so that when the period does start, they're not in a position where they're stuck or worrying or feeling like they don't know what to do. They're too scared to ask for sanitary towels or any products they might need. And instead they can just go and use those, and then maybe their next period won't be quite as scary, and then they'll be able to open up and say, you know, Mum, I've used the things that you gave me before, I need some more. And it just makes it a little bit easier for them to open up to you guys and tell you that they're on their period. So I was 15 when I started my period. I can remember I was in high school, I was in an English class, and I just had a dull period pain, a dull type ache on the lower part of my tummy, and I'd had it like all morning, and I can remember going to the toilet and wiping myself and it being red, and I freaked. Like, my tummy flipped, my heart started racing, and this is when I was expecting it to happen. I knew it was going to happen, I knew what it was, I wasn't scared or anything like that, but even though I knew what it was and even though I wasn't expecting it, I still freaked out. I can remember thinking, oh my gosh, what do I do? Oh no, what do I do? I literally, this is gross, this is probably TMI, got so much tissue all rolled up, stuffed it into my knickers, ran to the office, and I was like, I've started my period, can I go home? And they was like, do you need to go home? We've got sanitary towels back here. And I was like, my sister got to go home and she got 3 days off school. So in the end I just said no, I did need to go home because I had leaked into my clothes and obviously wouldn't want to sit in school like that. So they sent me home. Luckily, unlike my sister, I didn't suffer badly with period pains. That doesn't mean to say I had no pain whatsoever. Whenever I had a period, I did get a dull period pain for maybe the first day, maybe the first or second day, but after that, nothing. My sister and millions of other people suffer terribly with period pains, and although I've never experienced it myself, I have seen friends and my sister crippled over in pain for the whole length of their period. That also brings me on to how long do periods last. Periods can last anything between 3 and 7 days. That's like the normal, and they usually happen it's called a cycle, so every 28 days. That's not a definite, everyone's different, and if you're like me, I only get probably 3 periods a year. That's not classed as normal, but not something that I need medication for or anything like that. I just don't have many cycles per year. So they are super duper sporadic with all different people, but generally most people have a period every 28 days, and they usually last between 3 and 7. Like I said, I only get probably 3 per year, and my periods usually last about 3 or 4 days. So some people say I'm super lucky, but that's not the case, especially when you want to try for a baby and you've got no idea when you'll ovulate or anything like that, but that's not for this video. So basically, it's different for everyone. I think 12 is such a hard age for a child. Not only is your body changing, you're also starting high school, which is so daunting to so many people. And then you've also got periods, which just throw another emotion in the mix, not to mention the crazy hormones that start running through your body. It's such a crazy age, and I literally cannot believe that in, what month are we now? August. In less than 2 months, oh my gosh, it's like only just over 1 month, Isabel will be 12. In just over a month, my little baby, my biggest baby, will be 12 and start going through all these changes, and I don't know, I just think it's super crazy. Isabel has expressed that she would like to do a vlog on periods too, because she knows how important it is to just, I guess, spread awareness to anybody that doesn't understand periods or doesn't have parents who they feel they can talk to, or hasn't had it explained to them, or has questions. And Isabel said numerous times, I'm going to do a vlog on it, I'm going to do a vlog on it. So if you'd like to see that, maybe it's easier coming from a 12-year-old's perspective rather than mine, because I'm 31 and probably an old woman to some of you guys watching it. But yeah, if you would be interested in Isabel doing one, then just comment down below, and when she's ready, it's not something that I want to ask her to do. She has to want to do it herself, because obviously it's such a private, I don't know, probably daunting vlog to do. So it has to be completely Isabel wanting to do it on her own. I can't put pressure on her. But I have said, like I just said, she has expressed numerous times how she would like to do a vlog on it. So if you'd like to see that, comment down below. And I hope this video's helped even just a few of you guys. If it has, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all again next Sunday. As always, don't forget to comment down below on any ideas, anything you'd like me to talk about, anything you want me to do on these Sundays with Sarah, because they're all what you guys want. Every single week, I've only done 3 so far, and every single one is something that you guys have recommended. So comment down below, let me know what I should do next week, and I will see you all then at 12. Goodbye. Mwah.